All right, we are now on the very last part of the UT Flood Lab. On part 4, you need to evaluate the different things you just did in making the zoning recommendations. So on question number 6, it asks you to consider the sources of error and problems associated. You need to come up with those yourself. So you can discuss with a friend, what are some sources of error and problems that are inherent. Because the topo maps are a little bit hard to see though, I'm going to help you with C and D. C says, what is in the floodplain for 100 years? Are there neighborhoods, schools, parks that are vulnerable? Explain. All right, so again, let's take a look at the actual topo maps, and I'm going to look at them side by side. So I have this one, and then side by side, I'm going to put the Irving one. So if I take it, and again, I'm going to scroll down so that I can actually kind of align that highway right there with what all's going on there. All right, so we said before that we aligned our actual floodplain based on a contour interval. So I'm going to take a look at that contour interval. I'm going to shrink it just slightly, and now I'm going to go hunting for the actual river. All right, so here's the river. Based on the number we got in part 3 that we used, you simply need to ask yourself, what kinds of things appear to be in the way? What can you kind of infer would be in the way based on that prediction that we got of the contour line? So again, these PDFs are on Schoology as well as on the UT side. So you're simply going to kind of literally walk around the river and kind of look at different things. I would look for a couple things specific that would be kind of in the flood zone, name of a couple cities, a couple roads, any infrastructure, like if there's anything that says a hospital or anything like that. And again, I'm going to hop over to this map and do the exact same thing. I'm simply going to follow the actual river right here. Again, if I kind of blow it up because it's super duper teeny tiny, I'm simply going to kind of follow around the actual river based on those topo lines and list some things like there's a school. Question. Would this school be in trouble? Yes or no? So I would say the school on Graham would or would not, based on elevation. So again, the more you blow up the map, the more things you're going to be able to see. The F is for fire station. Would that fire station on Northeast 32nd Street be in danger? I'd put yes or no. Again, I strongly suggest you pick 2 or 3 very, very specific things that follow this river that you can say whether or not it's going to cause problems. So that was the question here. Now letter D says, your parents are considering buying a home in the area between Highway 30 and the river on the Ulysses quadrangle. Okay, and we're looking at the western edge. So you have to make a recommendation based on what you see, yes or not. So Highway 30 and the river, western edge. So I'm going to go over to my topo map on the Ulysses one. First thing I need to look for is Highway 30. It's down near the bottom, right above the words Grand Prairie. So it said, I'm going to build a house between the river and Highway 30. So I'm following my eyes all the way over because it said western edge, so I'm on the far western side of it. Here is Highway 30. I know it says 80, but remember it continued over as 30. If I come up, here's the river. So based on your elevation warning at a 100-year flood, kind of look. Would it be safe to build a house in this area? Yes or no, and why? Now, depending on this kind of quadrangle that you're looking at, you might say yes, you might say no. So my personal suggestion is I would take an actual physical quadrangle and I would specifically name it. So maybe say between 28 and 29, north, and 76, 77 east. I would not build a house because it seems to land in the 100-year floodplain, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But I would pick 2 different locations and very specifically specify and argue why you would build it there based on the elevation number that you got before. When you're done with that analysis, make sure you write it out. I will be looking for it in your notebook when I grade your notebook, and then you're ready to submit to UT. On the UT side, they're going to ask you those questions that you've been answering on the worksheet, as well as asking you to upload your Excel document. It should have 2 graphs on the Excel document that you should be able to see when you first open it. So if I look at mine, I have a graph over here, and if I look down, I have a graph near the bottom as well. My suggestion is take both graphs and pull them up to the top, so on very, very first glance when they open it, they don't see just a bunch of data. I would take my physical graph and I would pull it all the way to the top, so they can see that particular one there. And then again, I would take my other one and I would pull it up as well. You get the idea. Take them both to the top, save it. You're going to upload to UT. Once you get into UT, you're going to have exactly 60 minutes to enter your questions and upload. So make sure you're ready when you get in there. It is due by Sunday at midnight. Good luck.